when I got out of the roofing and got into towing, like I was in roofing for 12 years, and I was just done with it.
Yeah.
So I actually sold my roofing company before I knew what I was going to do, and I ended up buying 3 days later, buying the assets of a towing company. And I started getting calls for off-road, and the guy that I bought the company from, and I had other friends. I was driving for other tow companies. They're like, do not do off-road recovery. Can't make any money doing it. It'll ruin your trucks. It's just not worth it. But
were they right in the?
They were right. They were right in that way, but I wasn't going to stand for it.
But you got out of roofing, which is arguably the worst.
Right.
I'm third generation roofers, so I understand. My dad, his only goal raising me was to not be a roofer.
Right.
So I get that.
And there's just never good roofing weather. There's no such thing as good roofing weather.
Nope.
So anyway, I just started getting these calls, and I just started trying to figure out ways to get these jobs done. And they were right. I would go out. This is like real experience. So some college kids, no money, but they went to the beach at
What
San
year
Paulo.
are we talking about here?
We're talking like 2009,
Okay.
2010. And so they're down there in their, $2,000 Corolla on the beach, and they're stuck. And they call me to come get them out. And they're way down there. And all I've got is a twin line wrecker that I can't drive down there either. So we're dragging cable. And, it's 107 degrees. And so by the time you drag enough steel cable extensions to get to them, I've got two other guys helping me, and we're all in trouble, right? Like, it's hot.
And this is like first recovery, or like?
Well, this is just pretty. Yeah, this is pretty typical.
I was gonna say, like, that's your start.
This is like the worst case scenario.
It's a dry heat, though.
Yeah, it's a dry heat. So yeah, so when you die, you won't steak. You'll just dehydrate. So when I'm done with this job, I'm adding up what this should cost, and the bill totals their car. And it's just not right. And then I'm pulling all this sand into my truck, and we would push it and take it places we shouldn't take it, and then we'd have to figure a way to winch itself out. And so they were absolutely right. There is no place in off-road recovery for an on-road wrecker or tow truck. And so
just becomes like repossession at that point, because you're just taking their car. Right.
And I'm like, oh, I can't do that. So I'm discounting. So the bill might be $1,300. Like, that would be really what it was. And I'd be like, I can't charge them that. I can only charge them $400. Well, that's still an outlandish amount of money for somebody who doesn't have that money. They were just going to the beach. They got their $25 and got into the park, and that was it. So
and Utah beach, that's an interesting one to me, because I'm not really super familiar with like beaches that aren't ocean beaches,
yeah.
I guess. What kind of, like, are we talking like, what kind of sand is it? What is it like?
Yeah.
What are you getting stuck in? Like sugar sand? Because that's what we have in Florida a lot.
It's a powder. It can't be explained. We've heard all these stories about the sugar sand down here, and we've checked it out, and we're like, is this sugar sand? And they're like, yeah. And we're like, this is nothing to drive.
If you look at it under a microscope, our sand is round. It's not angular, so it doesn't stack up and pack. It's constant. It's like driving on marbles.
Yeah.
But very, very small ones.
And it gets into everything.
But every drop of rain that falls in Utah gets captured and put in a reservoir. So we've got all these man-made reservoirs, and if the reservoir happens to be next to a sand dune, then you get these really beautiful sandy beaches. And that's the way Sand Hollow is.
Oh, so that's what becomes the beaches.
And they make them recreation areas. This one's a state park, so it's a destination for people to go to. Okay. And so there's, and also we got Zion National Park there. Like 5 million plus people come see that a year. And while they're there, they're not just going to see Zion. They're going to go look at some arch or some formation or something, and they're going to drive out there and do that. And this is just one of the places. Yeah. And we would get a high volume of calls.
Because, like, I'm from the Northeast, and there's like ocean beaches, and then in Florida we got like different beaches. So I guess I was trying to get like the gauge of what kind of.
Well, and we have so much public land out there. Like 60% of the state is public land, and of that, 60%, there's a good chunk of it. There's roads all over. You can drive out and camp and do whatever.
I've heard that before. I forgot that you can the public land is so cool because in Florida, there's no public land. I mean, anywhere you go is like trespassing, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not really used to that, which makes your off-road ability so awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, that's how it got started, just talking to friends and people I knew that were in like search and rescue and whatnot. And they're just like, get a light, affordable little rig, get the kinetic energy ropes, and just go pull them out of the sand. So that's what I just started doing, and that changed. It went from, bills that I could literally justify as being a $2,000 job. I could change that to a $70 or $100 job with the right equipment.
So how do you do that? How do you make it so much cheaper just by having cheaper equipment?
Well, just
like
equipment.
How does a $2,000 job only cost somebody $70?
So, for one thing, it goes from a 4-hour job with 3 guys on it, with a fairly expensive piece of equipment, like a $100,000 wrecker. Now we're doing it with a $2,000 Jeep. We're doing it with 1 guy, and you're doing it in 5 minutes.
Oh, wow. Is there that many people getting stuck?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what's crazy to me, too, is there's that many people constantly stuck.
Yeah. And
even while you're here in Florida right now, is there just like a mess going on in Utah? Where
and we get that question a lot. They're like, who's rescuing these people when you're not there? There's volunteer groups and there's other people in the business and stuff. So somebody's going to get them out. And if they don't, they'll still be there when we get back, and we'll go get them.
Is there like an architect of person where like, they show up at the rental car place and they're like, oh, they're getting stuck. Like the car that they buy and like what they're going to do. Like, is it just assumed that some people are just...
They're technically not allowed to take it off the pavement.
Yeah.
Well, but and like in Moab, see, I'm on the opposite side of
Yeah,
Utah.
sorry, I wanted to introduce you too.
Oh, sorry.
No, I just, before you started talking, for people listening, Trailmater, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Trailmater, you do your own off-road as well.
Yeah, I do mine
Recovery.
in Moab.
Okay.
And so I'm on the opposite side of Utah from him.
Yeah.
But it's the same kind of deal. But in Moab, you can go rent a Jeep or rent a side-by-side and go on the trails and in the backwoods. And so then we're going to get rental vehicles, but we also go get Sprinter vans, Subarus. Mm-hmm. There was a minivan on Hell's Revenge, which is a rock crawling trail.
Right. I was just going to say that. We have seen every kind of car in every kind of situation. You'll find a Challenger, like a Challenger down a sandy wash, and you're like, and they drove downhill until they wanted to turn around, and now they're stuck, and you're like, oh, there's a Challenger down at the bottom of this sandy wash. We'll go get it.
My favorite one is, it was going great.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, then why did I get called? Because if it was going great, like
I could have gotten out, but it's good you guys are here.
since you took time out of your day to come get me.
Yeah, that's how I would be if I got my girl with me. I'd be like, I could have done it myself, but since you guys are here, sure you guys get the cool guy trying to play it off.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Do it once you show up.
Oh yeah.
I've seen enough of your videos. I can tell you how to do it.
Yeah, we've met every kind of person. Some are just really thankful that we're there. Other ones, like I said, they'll try to manage the mess that they got into.
Guys, thank you for tuning in to the Bogetti Clips YouTube channel. For the full podcast, check us out on Bogetti Studios YouTube and all your audio platforms. Also, hit that subscribe button to not miss out on any of the new Bogetti clips coming up.